All right. Boom. There we have it. We are live. Okay. There's a couple things I need to do. All right, let's make sure the signal's going through. Okay, we're good. Got Ableton pulled up. I've been watching a lot of Virtual Riot videos instead of making stuff, which is classic. But I saw him make this really cool little generator rack that generates, what does it do? It generates melodies. He made this melody generation rack, and the way he goes about it, which made sense probably a year ago, which is when he dropped this, he made this using a bunch of like pitch devices and some arpeggiators. However, now we have this device called SQ Sequencer, which kind of does a lot of the stuff that he was doing with the pitch devices and the arpeggiator devices. So what I'm kind of trying to do here is emulate a little bit what he was doing, but try to maybe simplify it a little bit. And I also want to figure out how to generate chord progressions, which is another cool thing that he was doing during all of this. Hold up. Let me really quickly just change this view up a little bit because I thought I liked it with the half height browser, but I actually kind of like it with the full height browser. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so I got an arpeggiator. I got this SQ sequencer thing. What I'm going to do is add a quick synth here so we have some noise to work with. And I'm going to add Pivot, which is this synth from a company called Fours that I really enjoy. And I need to arm this track. Oh, it should be armed. Okay, it is armed. It's just not working. What I need to do is turn this SQ sequencer into MIDI mode, and now I see it's playing back. I have to turn the clock on. There we go. So now what's happening is every time I press a button on the on my little MIDI keyboard, it triggers the arpeggiator, and the arpeggiator starts playing back at 1/8. Starts playing back an 8th note. Now it's 16th note, and then it eventually, hold up, let's not do 200 BPM, let's do like 120. There we go. Now it plays back notes. Okay, and I'm gonna add some attack. Remove some release. Cool. Now on this SQ sequencer, you can have up to 16 steps, which is pretty nice. And then what you can do here is it has a couple different things that I think are really cool. It has a scale that you can select. It has all of the same stuff that you would expect to find in like the scale here within Ableton. It has all the same scales. So you can pick a scale. We could pick minor. And then you can randomize the notes. And now what Virtual Riot did that I thought was really smart is he basically made it using this one of these pitch devices. He made it so that whatever note you play on here, it's always a C2. And we don't want C -2. We just want a regular C2. So I'm going to do the fold mode. So whatever note we play back now, it is going to be a C2 every single time. Okay, this is important because we don't actually want to like play back stuff and then have that influence what the sequencer's doing. We're also not really going to use this to set the different like notes necessarily. The way I was thinking about using the SQ sequencer is strictly just using it to set like to using it as a step sequencer to set what we're turning on and off, basically. So this is all it should be doing. It should just be playing steps back. Now, what I don't like, though, is it does not reset automatically. Like the clock doesn't automatically reset, which is a bummer. But I think this is fine. We'll figure it out. And then what I'm going to try and do is generate a bunch of different loops very rapidly, like he did. I'm just going to try it with a little bit of a different method. So we have an SQ sequencer. This is going to sequence everything. We got our little arpeggiator going. We got the pitch going. Let's see. Another thing he was doing, he was kind of using this along with the distance to go up steps. I don't feel like I want to do that. I kind of feel like I just want to use the arpeggiator to trigger stuff. And you can even use it to like control the speed at which you trigger these different steps. So what I'm gonna try and do is have this just be the step sequencer. This is gonna trigger notes. Every note that gets triggered is going to be a C2. And then after this, we're gonna drop in another pitch, kind of like he did. And then this is actually going to like shift things. And then I think before that, we could drop in a random. So it should be able to shift things, yeah, to a bunch of different notes. Okay, let's see the interval. I want to read the info on what interval does because I have forgotten. A random number between 1 and the value of the choices control is chosen. 1 to 12. When multiplied by the value. Okay, so this is basically an octave control. So we can choose random notes up to 5 octaves, essentially. Okay. So now we got everything. We got like arpeggiator basically generating the rhythm or speed. We have the SQ sequencer being the actual sequencer. We're not using it for any of the actual like notes. Everything is just playing back a C2. And then random is picking random notes. And then it's picking random notes. And then I think pitch is shifting them. Or maybe random shifting them. Yeah, random is shifting them. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to try and add a scale to have this conform to some scale. We'll do C minor. Let's do... let's actually just keep this 1 octave for now. Perhaps. And maybe we slow it down a little bit. Okay. Now we got a little scale. Let's try adding some pitches. I feel like we need to do some stuff with pitches to make this more... What do we do? Do we block? Okay. I'm going to make this into a rack real quick. And we can start... What I want to do, which is what I'm not doing right now, and I'm not going to actually do it with the random. I'm going to do it with a pitch. And I'm going to turn this into its own little rack within the rack. And then I'm going to duplicate it a bunch of times. Probably, is this right? This doesn't seem right. maybe I don't duplicate it a bunch of times. Because like essentially what I want to do is I want to like pick the notes. Perhaps, hold on. Since we've deviated from Virtual Riot, we'll just pick the notes randomly here. We could also just use the scale here. Let's try this for now. And then, okay, I think this is coming together a little bit. We're going to add a bunch of different scales here. And we're actually just going to keep this chromatic. One thing he did that I really liked was he had a bunch of different ranges here. So for example, let's do like C0, maybe up to 2 octaves. And we can do C and then minor. Let's actually duplicate this a few times. Get rid of these. We're gonna basically get rid of some notes for the bass. So we can do this and then C sharp, G. We'll just do C sharp and G. So our bass notes get changed to C sharp and G. Maybe we'll do, let's see. Let's do minor again. What note is this? This is a D, D sharp, and G. Okay. So we are in a minor scale. We're going to do D sharp. We're going to do C, D sharp. And we're going to do G. So anything that falls within like the C0 to C2 range gets converted to these 3 notes. And then we're going to keep this one on C minor, but we're going to go up 2 octaves. So anything from C2 to basically C4, and then anything from C4 to C6 is going to get converted differently. So these, I will allow a couple extra notes. Maybe we'll do C, D sharp, F, G, and then A sharp, I suppose. And then what we can do here also is like make everything, we can pick different octaves if we want to. So hold up, let me reset everything. Let's randomize. Let's see. What I also might do is take all the pitches, and I kind of want the lowest note to probably be a C0. Let's see. What if I go up to C2? It's like way too much, you know? It's going up too high. It's probably the octaves. I want to cap it at a certain octave, perhaps. Let's maybe, I think I could do it with a pitch. If I take a pitch and then I go up to like C6 and then do no range and then fold it. All right, it's capping it for sure, but this part perhaps needs to, oh no, I need to block that. And then I need to block this. Yes. No, nothing's playing back now. Let's see if I go to octave, reset the octave, go back to pitch. This is working as expected. Let's see if we fold it. Okay, so it's converting everything to a C2, which is not what I want, because what I essentially want is to be able to pick random pitches, but I think what I might need to do is use the pitch. I'm gonna ungroup this. No, hold up, ungroup this. All right, unfortunately, I don't think it will work to have the sequencer choose the scale and the pitch. So I need to drop in some pitches here before the scale. All right, and now we do the Virtual Riot method for this, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, maybe. Damn, I don't know if this will work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it might work, but then it just turns into the arpeggiator method, because I want it to select different notes, but I want the notes to like sound better together, if that makes sense. Maybe I raise this a little bit. Let's go up an octave. Let's go, maybe we do our lowest as C1. Hold up, I'm gonna go back down, because I want to have bass notes in here if I can. Let's do C minor. Let's do a little bit of sound design. I'm getting a little bored of this. What's going on? The velocity is not affecting the sound enough. Is the velocity just not sensitive to level? Velocity, volume. There we go. Okay. Maybe we can set this to like 50%. Hold up. That's good. All right, we kind of got something. But everything is falling in within the C0 to C2 range. So I want to be able to get notes in that are higher. So actually, I'm going to take this out for a second. What I did earlier was I went into Max Relive and I extended the ranges a little bit on these and made my own little version. Not really made it, I just changed some stuff. So this goes up to 24 semitones. Let's see, why is it not working? Because our clock is not on. We need to change it to MIDI. Got to turn the clock on. What we can also do is, hold up. I kind of want to put this together in its own little rack. And then I want the speed to have its own little rate. What's the fastest? Oh, this needs to go in reverse. I see. So let's go into our little mapping mode. And what we're going to do is do this from 1/64 to 1/1. Oh, am I not able to edit the ranges? Because I would like to be able to edit the ranges for the time. That's not cool. Because we essentially have to just invert them. Maybe if I just invert this guy, yeah, that might work. If I go in here and then I do that as the max or min, and then I do 1/64 as the max, this might actually work. Okay, 1/64. Yep, now they're tied together. Perfect. Amazing. So now as we change the rate of the arpeggiator, it will move the same way that the SQ sequencer's rate moves. So now they'll always be in sync, which is great because I think the SQ sequencer's rate controls how long the note plays. You also get a swing control. You also get groove here. Let's see. Okay. Let's go up to 1/16 again. I don't like that. I'm gonna add a reverb here just to make this a little bit more palatable. I think box is a reverb. Yep. Let's maybe throw in a delay too. Bokeh is a good one. Hold up. Let's just double click. Okay. This is good. We're gonna turn the speed down a little bit. And I'm gonna filter out some of the low end. Can I turn this off? I want to turn one of them off. Let's just not send any. All right, and we can actually set the scale here, and it should be fine. turn these off for a second because I want to see something. I want to see how it'll just sound without the conversion. Let's go back to 12 semitones. All right, we can also map this to a macro so we can control the direction if we want to. We can also just set it to a random direction, I'm pretty sure. Oh, okay, cool. It does work. We can also set it to a random rate. I'm just gonna have a note playing back here. It doesn't matter what we play. And if we just, cool. All right, we have some generation going on. I'm gonna maybe get rid of these scales. What Virtual Riot was doing, which was pretty interesting, and it doesn't quite work this way unless I like replicate exactly what he did. He was basically using the chain, like this chain, as a step sequencer, essentially. But what we want to do is we will just use the step sequencer as a step sequencer. We'll use the arpeggiator to trigger notes, and that will move the step sequencer forward. I think I can reset. I can't reset the position, unfortunately. That's the only bad thing about this. And then we'll actually use this device to randomly select notes. I wonder if there has to be a way to reset the steps. See, we can move notes around. That's not what I want to do. There should be a way for you to like on retrig basically have it reset the steps. What you can also do here, which is kind of cool, is you can set ratchets. So you can have notes repeat if you'd like. I'm going to reset that, and this is probably better controlled. Ooh, yeah. Let's do up to 2 ratchets. And we would want this to go faster. And we would probably want ratchets on notes that are higher. Let me turn bokeh off for a sec. Let's see. Let's turn this down a little. Ooh, does this actually like move the note off the grid? It does. This moves the note off the grid. That's kind of cool. Wait, hold up. What did I just do there? Was that a bug? Because I thought you could edit the envelope. what if we have two of these running in parallel? Let's try that real quick. But I would want to have a few things tied together. Okay, so the clocks are mapped already, which is good, right? Okay. This works. Speed. And then playback direction. This works. Okay, cool. So these are pre-mapped. We are playing things back very slowly. Let's turn it up a little. Now you can kind of randomize these in parallel. Can reset it. Can move everything up an octave if we'd like. Yo, that's time shift. I need to go back to page 1, move everything up an octave. Here, let me do something. I wonder, can we map these? We can. We can map the scale to its own thing. So now they will always be on the same scale. And what I'm going to do is set this to a pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic. So now we can have one. This one could maybe be like the bass. This one could be melody, perhaps. And for the bass, we can go an octave down, perhaps. Oh no, you can't go an octave down. Interesting. You can just go, oh wait, I'm on time shift. No, you should be able to go an octave down. Yes, you can go an octave down. Great. Hold up. No, we want to set this an octave down, and then we want to randomize the notes that play back. And we can randomize the steps too, honestly, if we want. I just reset them. We should probably, I think there's a way to filter out the bass. I would want to filter out the bass from the reverb. So let me add just a regular Ableton reverb. That's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah. And then I want to do low cut. Perfect. Let's filter this a little. All right, I think we kind of got it a little bit. And I don't think, let's see, do I put, okay, you know what I could do? Because we have a bass one, we got a melody one. I think I could technically put the bass in its own little thing. And then, Hold up. We're going to try something. Because what I want to do, I don't know if this will work though. Perhaps it won't work. Let me undo that. Because what I want to be able to do is like randomly select the notes very quickly across the bass and the melody at the same time. And to do that, we need a key mapping. Ooh, I can do it with a key mapping, I think, maybe. R. Oh, I could do it with the key mapping. Okay. Boom. Okay. We can randomly select the bass notes and the melody notes now. So I don't have to go in, and I can just tap R and it will reset both of them. There's somewhat of an input lag. All right. And now I wish there has to be a way to reset the clock. I think this might be it. This might have to be the way we do it, is we just like turn this off and then on again. And does that do it though? It does. Hell yeah. Okay. This generates random melodies now, which is great. What I want to do is close this thing for a second. Okay, now the other thing I saw Virtual Riot do, which was great, was he basically made like 10 copies of these in different keys and then exported all of the audio as he exported all of the audio as their own loops by different key. But actually, before we do that, he also did something interesting, which was turn, like he had each loop playing back at a different speed. Sorry, he combined like arpeggiators to have one playing back faster and another slower. I might. We need the arpeggiator so it triggers notes over and over again. Wait, no, I don't think retrigger would do anything here. We need the arpeggiator to trigger notes over and over again without having to basically just like smash the keyboard. So we can keep the step sequencer moving forward. But at the same time, I want to have these playing back at different speeds. And right now they're tied together, which is not great. I'm gonna Google something real quick. I wonder if there's a way to reset the SQ sequencer. How to reset SQ sequencer, start, position, Ableton. I have to click the reset button. I don't know if that does it though. We can set this to I want to reset the clock, basically. There's got to be a way to do it. How to reset SQ sequencer clock. Because what is annoying is having to like redo this all the time. Like basically having to get to the start position over and over again. I wish it would just do it on like every time you trigger it. Let's see. Let's see what Google comes up with. Yeah, I wanted to reset it with MIDI. I don't think that's possible. Hold up. I wonder if there's like a little, there's gotta be a little like explainer on how it works, right? Show in, okay. Maybe in packs. Let's see, SQ sequencer. Okay. Give me the little lesson. Okay. Classic style step sequencer, generate MIDI patterns, blah, blah, blah. Individual loop length, clock direction, various sequencer directions, scale, clock, choose between 3 modes, transport will start, stop together with live, transport, internal, use the internal play icon to start and stop MIDI, an incoming MIDI note will advance it. Wait. Oh, doesn't work. Now they're out of sync. Let's turn, okay, let's leave that on. All right, now it's on 1, I'm pretty sure. Actually, let me turn this off for a second. All right, now this is on the correct start point. And now let's turn this on. Okay, now they both should be on the correct start point. Time MIDI. In the MIDI tab, transpose will active when active. Transpose a note sequence up or down with incoming MIDI notes. If step record is active, incoming MIDI notes will set the current step to the incoming note value. I don't want to do that. Page switch. Sequencer lanes. I guess there's not a way to do it. That's a bummer. Let's see. I wonder if there are other sequencers here that I could potentially leverage. Let's see. What is 16 steps? No, this is just an SQ sequencer preset. Are all of these SQ sequencer presets constant variations? The thing that sucks is I feel like all of these depend on the transport being on in Ableton, which is a bummer because that's not what I want. I don't want the transport to be on, so this works. I want it to work with the press of a button. What is this? Nope. I don't want that. Oh, hip hop. Hip hop swing, 90 BPM. Great. I gotta try that out. I'm sure. Okay, why are drums popping up? I just want Max for Live plugins. hold up. And I don't want presets. You know what? This is unfortunately annoying. Generative. Sure. Doesn't actually filter things. Oh, it lets me tag them as generative. I'm dumb. All right. We're going back to this. We got to turn the clocks on, keep the clocks synced up. Okay. And we basically just don't have the ability to reset, and that's fine. We'll deal with that. And what I might try to do is like call this auto, or hold up, this is C. This is minor pentatonic. Let's go into just regular minor keys. All right, we'll do C minor here. Let's unmap this from speed. Let's also have our bass. No, we have to keep it in poly mode because basically what the time here controls is just the like note length essentially. It doesn't actually control the speed, so I'm gonna unmap this because it doesn't matter. The note length here doesn't quite matter. It could be as fast as or as slow. Maybe we add a note length. Also, hello David, welcome. Let's go into MIDI effects. We're gonna go into note length. Let's add a note length here somewhere. Perfect. This is exactly what we needed. We just needed a note length here. And we're not going to worry about controlling note length using the SQ sequencer. I'm also just going to get rid of this for now. Unmap this. Follow scales. That's fine. Unmap everything on that front. Let's unmap this. And we're just going to set these to 16th notes because we can actually just set them to the fastest length because it won't actually matter. Okay, what I want though is I want a note length for the melody to probably be separate from the note length on the bass. And one thing I'm gonna do in pivot is maybe turn the width down. Let's come up with a new one. Let's do it again. One more time. Actually, what would be better is if we have the bass on its own little patch. All right, and the bass one is just its own little thing. I think I'll have to key map again. That's fine. We're gonna basically need a way to keep the scales the same. Hold up, I'll just select those manually. We don't need a mapping for it. Okay. Now the bass should change along with the melody together, and we can just set it down an octave. And what we'll need to do, close window, let's create a MIDI clip. Let's put a note here, it doesn't even really matter. Legato, boom, put that here. So this is the bass. This is the melody. And what we could do here is basically have separate patches for each of these. So like a bass does not need reverb. And I can find another patch. Now we just gotta make sure these are on the same clock. Okay. Hold up. I'm gonna throw a pitch on here. Or no, not a pitch. Maybe a scale. Perhaps. And then let's do C, and then we'll do minor. And then we're gonna do the thing where we even these out a bit so that we don't have too many ugly notes playing. Something like this. Ooh, if I restart the transport, then it restarts the sequencers. That's great. I feel like we can make the scale for this a little bit better, perhaps. Let's do C minor. Let's get rid of some notes. Let's have all of these in here. See what happens. I could just reset it. The timing is different. That's why it sounds weird. I got some stuff on here. All right, we'll keep that for now. Hold up. I want to add some modulation here. I'm not like too happy with this, but I'm not sad about it either because it works. I just want it to sound better. Let's see, maybe if we pick a different scale. If we go back to minor pentatonic, I'm sure it will be fine. And I can probably get rid of these scales here for now. I shouldn't have deleted it. I should just turn it off. guess a ratchet doesn't really work because we're using the arpeggiator. I don't know how I feel about this. Perhaps I will try again. It does generate melodies, and it does generate bass lines. I just don't know if I like them very much. We got latch on. I was like, why did it not stop? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I might start over because I feel like there's something here with the SQ sequencer. I just don't like the amount of control I have over the random notes, like at the output, and I feel like a scale is what fixes that. Scale with some ranges potentially. So let me try something out, something new out. We're gonna take this off. Note length is definitely good. Arpeggiator, okay, well, I didn't want to do that. Arpeggiator is good. Putting in arpeggiator, hold up. Have I messed with bouncy notes in a while? I forgot what bouncy notes did. But I remember there being a pack explanation about it. Bouncy notes. Oh, it's a Dylan Bastion one, so you know it's good. Bouncy notes. Uses particle system. It only uses a force of gravity. Particles are represented as balls that fall. Oh yeah, it's like notes falling on a keyboard. Hold up, let me try something with this. Okay, so you can just drop notes onto it. But then we would definitely want the output. Hold up. Let me cook. Arpeggiator to make notes fall on it. Okay. but before the notes fall on it, we do here. I'm gonna do the Virtual Riot method. I think we'll build a step sequencer with pitch, which is essentially what he did, and then you have like the pitch here, which accepts a certain note. Okay. And then you do this, and then you do that, and then you do this, and then you do that. Hold up, we gotta do this a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 13, 14, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, now it's a 16-step sequencer, essentially. Perhaps, maybe I'm wrong. Or actually, it's an 8-step sequencer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me get rid of these for a second, because I have 8 steps. And let me add a synth. We're gonna add pivot again. Hold on, we're gonna turn off note length for a sec. Why are bouncy notes not getting generated? Let's do a boop 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 boop. Let's do a pitch beforehand. I'd like to just add a pitch here. Okay, I guess not. Modulators, no, I need MIDI effects, I need pitch, I need it right here. Let's turn off the info view for a second. Boom. Do this guy. Okay. I know that's triggering something, but for some reason it's not triggering bouncy notes. Let me turn this off for a sec. Okay. Oh, everything's a C2. We want it to be a C negative 2. We want it to be a regular C2. Okay, we got something going on. Let's see. It's good that we have notes. I don't know if we want bouncy notes per se, at least not in this step. Okay, now we do the pitch, and then we block, and then we do C2. We do that, and then we open chain. We duplicate this a bunch of times. 4, 8. Okay. Great. is it not triggering? Why is it like an 8th step? I don't know. All right, we'll figure it out. We're gonna do this guy. We're gonna have this be a C sharp. We're gonna have this be a D. And we're gonna do this. And we're gonna do this. Okay. We're gonna do the D sharp. We're gonna do E. And then we're gonna do F. And then we're gonna do F sharp. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna do G. Wait. C. We got C, D, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, and then G. Okay. Okie dokie. It's actually should be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wait, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. And then this is going to be G. One note seems like it's getting skipped. Okay, I think this is working. It kind of sounds like it's working. Something sounds slightly off, but hold up. It could just be our synth. This feels off. Okay. And then I think what we got to do is duplicate this. No, not duplicate it. Add another pitch. Pitches everywhere. Okay. Drop it in here. Drop it in here. Oh. Let's add one there. Let's add one there. Add them everywhere. Okay. Now we have an 8-step sequencer basically. And then you take this and then you got to do some mappings. And I'm literally just copying everything I saw the man do from memory, because I watched the video too many times. Okay. Hold up. We got more macro mappings. Let me just try it this way. Let me try it his way for a second. Okay. And then you can randomize these guys. All right, that's too much range. We should lower the range on these. Lower the range to 2 octaves. 24, 24, 24. 24, 24. No, then nothing plays back. Hold up, I lowered the wrong range. Let's go back. Okay, what we have to do is lower the range here. We'll do like minus 24 to 24 all the way around to 24. Now let's just do these first. Boom, boom. And we do these. Boom, 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 and boom. Minus 24, save that. Okay, now you randomize this, and it's terrible, which makes sense because it's not in a key, and for that you need a scale, and you put that after this, and then you do a minor scale. Okay, I can get down with that. Let's do this. Okay, 8 steps. Hold up, we turn this into one giant thing. Right now, this is now what we have is an 8-step generator, essentially. I wonder, can you edit this in Max for Live? If you could edit the arpeggiator in Max for Live and increase the number of steps, that would be great. Let's see. What is the Max for Live path? Or Google how to edit Ableton arpeggiator in Max for Live. I don't think it lets you unless I am blind. I'll figure it out later. But if you could edit the stock arpeggiator device, that would be dope. Okay, now this is where he did his little, going in and editing this down a little bit so you get rid of some of those ugly notes. All right, we can maybe keep that and do it like this essentially. Okay. Okay, and then you can do another scale, and then you do C and minor, and maybe this one you go up, I don't know, you do this, instead of 128 you do whatever, 24. So yeah, maybe we get rid of that. We keep that. You're basically making it harder to play shitty notes. Like this adds tension. It adds too much tension. I think we can even have an additional pitch here to control the octave, basically. And what you can do now is put in some notes. Hold up. I don't know why I did that. This is annoying. There we go. Okay. And then we just put in whatever note we want. We legato it. Close the window for a second. Okay, this is the other thing he said. He was like, do a little bit of space. Okay. It's working. I might add in, what is it, D sharp here? It's D sharp. Yep. We might do that. And we could potentially go up here. We'll do like C1, or rather, let's do like a C3 to a C5 range, and then like a C5 and beyond. And perhaps we just include everything here. Actually, I'm just gonna keep it everything C3 and above. Hold up, it should be C2. What note is it playing? I hate that note. Okay. He had like a little width control thing too, which I do not have. And I think that controlled like how close the notes were that were playing together, I want to say. Okay. I wonder, can we have this? Because I think it can just go up 8 steps, because that's how many steps the arpeggiator lets you go up. So right now it's basically like an 8-step sequencer. We can increase this. We could do like maybe boom. Okay, I remember what he had. He basically had these. He had like a control that mapped how close the notes were. And if they were far apart, or if they were basically right, within the same octave or two. Because you have a giant octave range here. And you essentially want a control that controls how, like in what octave range they're playing, right? Because like what we could technically do is just like okay. And probably want to bump these up. Actually, no, I don't want to bump these up because they're just not going to go down to those extremely low octaves unless I... Hold on, let's see. What happens if we bump these up? If I bump it up a little bit, does it go up altogether? Or does it just not play notes that are that low? No, I don't think anything changed. So let's just go back. Cool. Okay. We need some sort of control that limits how wide these notes can jump, essentially. It's like an octave control almost. Yeah, this does not sound good. And I don't know like what I did wrong. To be fair, I am not following all of his steps because my man has a lot of steps. I'm gonna try and go back to the other method I was doing. I feel like it might be more promising, especially with now that we found out how it works with the transport. So we can actually have it work with the transport perhaps. And we have 16 steps right off the bat. We got it going. Okay, why is it not playing things? Let's get rid of this pitch for a second. Hold up. Actually, we add pitch back. And what pitch is doing is folding stuff so that we're playing C2. Maybe let's do C3. Okay. That's working. We got pivot. Okay, we got to turn the clock on. What is happening? Maybe we do C1. Why are you not moving forward? Oh, I know why. We need the arpeggiator. Oh, I remember what Virtual Riot did. He had two notes playing, and that's how he got to 16 steps, because they would jump back and forth. Aha. We're not going to do that, because we just have 16 steps here. And we're just going to control the speed of playback using the rate. which is good. Let's turn the volume up a little. Okay. And then we're gonna pick a minor key. C minor. Then randomize notes. And then what we're gonna do in SQ sequencer is in our time, we're just gonna set it to the fastest time, and we're gonna drop in the note length here. Okay, I think this is the method. I take back the old way and I'm going with this. Oh, you can also just like bump stuff up if they're not close enough. I wish there was a button that would like squash the notes a little bit so they're closer. But there isn't. Okay, this works much better. So this is basically the pattern speed. This is an important one. Speed. Okay. And I'm actually going to do something here. Here, I want to duplicate this entire thing. So we're going to have like pattern 1, but we're also going to have pattern 2. Pattern 2 speed. And pattern 2 is going to have its own notes. Perfect. And then the cool thing with this device is you can basically randomize everything. You can randomize velocity. We got to go into our mod matrix though and make sure that volume has velocity sensitivity. You can randomize like the direction. Oh, well, not really randomize. I mean, you can randomize the direction, but so I want to have the speed for sure controlled, and we can basically pick how fast these are moving based on the arpeggiator speed. What I'm going to do is throw on a velocity at the end of this. Hold up. I need note length and velocity need to move here. We don't need two of these. We don't need a note length here. This needs to be self-contained a little bit. And we're just gonna have a rack within a rack. We're gonna set like a little lower threshold that's fairly loud still, you know. And then we can throw in some randomization. Okay, this is better. What I'm also going to do is key map randomizing. the pitch to R. I'm also going to do the same for the first pattern. So we have two patterns playing in parallel, essentially. Let's turn off key mapping. And now I can basically just go in and press R, change this up on both of them. Boom. We can also set random octaves, which is cool. I'm going to keep this at 1 octave so the range isn't like too crazy on the octaves, because it goes up to 3 and that can be a little jarring. Actually, we could have like the octave range. Yeah, let's map. We can map the octave ranges. So then we can pick like how close we want the octaves to be together. Like for how close we want them together in each of these little patterns. I'm going to turn up my volume, and this might actually just not be loud enough, so I'm going to turn it up a little. Let's go one more time. We can also map basically, I mean, I could map this macro, but what would it do? Let's see. Oh, okay. So I can map it here and just basically wiggle it, and it will change the steps. And then it would be great to have a reset as well. But I might do that. I want to decide like what other things to map here before we get into that. So let's do pattern 1 octave. And I want to do that on macro 9. Pat 1 octave. And that's just going to change it. It's basically going to let us go up or down an octave very quickly. And then we're also going to map pattern 2 octave. And we're going to do that to 10. Pattern 2 octave. Okay. And then this one we can set to 0. Or we can even go up. I think this like moves the steps technically. Okay. So we got octave mappings. I don't think the pitch matters because we're going to randomize it anyway. I don't want to just map the pitch. That's kind of forgoing the purpose of this rack. On the main one, we might map the note length. And then maybe the velocity. All right. Another important thing we need to map. So I'm just going to rename these real quick. Pattern 1, pattern 2. Here, let me stop being lazy. Oh my God, I can't spell. Okay, we got pattern 1. We got pattern 2. All right. And then what else we're going to do is we're going to map the playback direction. So we're going to have pattern 1 playback. And we're going to have pattern 2 playback. There we go. And this controls the playback direction. So we can have one of them going backwards and one of them going forwards. We can have them both go in the same direction. It is really up to us. Hold up. I'm gonna unmap it from here. Wait, I gotta do it differently. Very annoying. Unmap from there and then map it here. Just gotta follow the same paradigm. I don't want to be doing weird mapping combos. So we got pattern 2 playback. Cool. And then we got 2 more here. I think we can easily have 16 mappings. Another thing that would be cool, I'm wondering, like, do I add ratchets? Like the time shift could be cool because you could basically like switch up. You're basically like nudging with time shift. So I feel like time shift, we should map over. Let's map over time shift. Time shift is pretty neat, I would say. We'll have pattern 1 time shift, pattern 2 time shift. And we're mapping nudge, pat 1, nudge, pat 2, nudge. And this can just let us like offset the timing a little bit for each, so they're not like playing at exactly the same time. And we could even limit it and like randomize everything here if we wanted. Ooh. I wonder, should we mess with the distance? Nah, it gets too chaotic. All right, I don't even want to touch that. What I do want to do is probably we can control the randomness of the time shift. Let's maybe do that to 30. Because then we can randomize the time shift along with the pitch, along with the octave. We can basically map all of these to our key bindings if we'd like to. And for the octave, I would just do like plus or minus 1. Do I want to do R? Let's do O for octave. Let's do P for pitch. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to do P, O. Oh, wrong one. Let's go here. Let's go here. Not what I wanted to do. Let's do K. We're going to do O for octave. Let's make sure it's correct on the other one. Perfect. Now we got our keyboard shortcuts. We don't want this map to that. We're going to do it on P. Okay. Boom. Turn off our key mode. And it's basically, you got to double tap. And then let's also do velocity. We'll bind that to a key, and 0 to 127 is fine because we can't really change that. Otherwise, things will sound way too low, essentially, which I don't like. So we're going to map this to V here. And that will randomize our velocity, which is good. We should map the reset, the step reset to, I want to map it to R, but R also I used to use for random. Here, we'll just map it to R. It's fine. Let's make sure V for velocity, R for the reset. And then we also need the steps randomized. I'm going to do S on that. S. Okay. And now, so we can reset. Oh, no, we can randomize our steps. We can reset them. Randomize again, reset again. Change the pitch. And then what we can do here, another good thing would be to have the scale, and we want these tied together, right? So we're gonna do just a, yeah, we'll just do those, the scale and the, like the root note, we'll have those mapped to the same one so that they're always tied together and no funny business is going on. So we got scale, we got root. Okay. Let's just make sure these are correct, and they are. All right, we're on minor now. Cool, perfect. Now we got the root note, and then scale, and then we got 6 more parameters we can map. I wonder if the ARP style will make a difference. I don't think so. We also want this here. Right? No, we want it here. I had it right. Do I have it right? Let's turn this off. It's because I have this thing on too. That is why. Basically, we need it to play the same note every single time. All right, I fixed it. So I might have it to C3. No, let's do C2. Thought C3 might be better, but it was not. All right, let's randomize. I'm pressing the wrong button. I'm resetting because I got used to R as the button that randomizes, but key is what randomizes pitch. Let's randomize the octave. Let's see, how can I get a square looking thing? This is close enough. Let's randomize again, reset, and then randomize steps. On LFO2, we could change this to a square. Boom. Oh. Skew, I want 0. And I think we could technically, do 12 and it might be an octave. Ugh. This is the only thing I dislike about this synth. Let's have this only go up. mind. Never mind. All right, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying this rack. It is definitely much nicer now. Let's change the velocity randomness a little bit. Let's change the low velocity. All right. Well, I might end it here. I did make a rack. I do kind of enjoy it. I want to work on it more, a little bit offline, and then I'll probably put it up on the Patreon and other people can mess around with it. Thank you folks for watching, and I'll see you later.